Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates and some exciting Battlefront 2 news, because the next content patch is actually arriving tomorrow morning. Ben just dropped the community transmission and patch notes for the patch coming tomorrow, which is titled the Hero Starfighters update, since it is including the new Hero Starfighters game mode. The patch notes and community transmission kind of overlap each other, so I'm gonna go through all the important points, and as always link to both of them in the description below if you want to read into every little detail. So starting off, we of course have the Hero Starfighters game mode. This is a 4 versus 4 game mode where every player spawns in as a hero ship in the beginning. But once you are defeated, you will be able to respawn as any of the regular starfighters. So it's a little bit like the heroes versus villains of the last game, just that everyone starts off as a hero here. And the first team to defeat all enemy hero ships wins a round. So it's a best of 5, which means the first team to win 3 rounds takes the overall victory. So this is hopefully gonna help people level up Hero Starfighters a lot faster, as you are guaranteed to be playing a Hero Starfighter every single round you spawn in. And to help out further with this Hero Starfighter leveling, they will actually be running some double experience weekends. The first one starting on July 6th, just as I'm going away on vacation, unfortunately. Moving on, they've made some changes to how the lightsaber combat works in the game, because they've done changes to how the stamina works. So triggering a block will cost stamina, and just holding the block down will also drain constant stamina, and there will also be a delay before the stamina regenerates after a lightsaber attack or block. So I think play lightsaber wielders now, you will actually have to think about when you use your attacks and when you use your blocks, most importantly, because right now when there's a lightsaber wielder versus a lightsaber wielder, you will basically both just be standing there and holding down your block until one of you gives up. But now you gotta think a little bit more about the actual stamina regeneration, so I'm pretty curious to see how this will be working out. And they also mentioned here that due to this new stamina change, they can make the lightsaber wielders feel a bit different from each other based on how much regeneration of stamina or how much total block time they give them, and so on. And while we're talking about lightsabers, they've now of course also added the long-awaited lightsaber ignition. So now you can ignite and turn off your lightsaber as much as you want, which I think personally is gonna be best when you're trying to hide around a corner, as the lightsabers make you very obvious when you do that. They've also added so you can now swap appearances pre-round, which I'm very happy about, because now I will actually consider having more than one skin for each hero or character. So if you got multiple appearances that you want to swap out based on the planet, you can now do that. And in terms of appearances, we're also finally getting the Sullustan back into the game, because he will now be available both for the Rebel and Resistance Assault players. They've also done some quality of life changes to Hero Showdown, such as the fact that you can now see your teammates' health in the user interface, among other UI changes that they mentioned in the patch notes. In terms of limited time game modes, they have now added some new UI under the operations menu, where you will be able to see the remaining duration of each particular game mode, which is very good. And due to the popularity of Extraction, they've now decided to make that mode permanent for the foreseeable future, which I think we're all happy to hear, because it would have been very disappointing if it disappeared. And for Jetpack Cargo, you can now play that on Yavin as well, which is a new map, and I think that's going to be very interesting due to the verticality available on that map. They've also reduced the amount of players in Blast from 20 down to 16, mainly for the new squad system that is on the way, because that will be working with teams of 4. So if you have 10 people on each team, you can't split them up evenly, but with 8 players on each team, you can put them into 2 squads. So that makes a lot of sense to me. They've also redesigned the daily quests to now give you 3 quests per day instead of 1, and each daily quest will give you 500 instead of 1000. So the total credit gain you can get each day from the quests will be higher than before, but it will require slightly more work, which I honestly think is good, because some of those challenges are very quick. And keep in mind that these are referring to the daily quests and not those long Hero Showdown ones that are more of the weekly ones. And then there's some bug fixes for heroes, such as Palpatine's main lightning, raise, dash strike, as well as a couple of other things. They've also done quite a lot of balancing on the different hero ships, which is most likely in preparation for this Hero Starfighter game mode. I'm not going to go through all of that right now, but as always, you will find a link to the full details in the description below. But at first glance, it seems to be pretty good balancing, but since I don't play Starfighter Assault that much, I can't really judge if this balancing is good or not. I think we're gonna be able to judge that a lot better tomorrow when we get to play a lot of Hero Starfighters, and we can figure out which ones that might be a little bit too bad or which ones that might be too good. They have bumped up the health of most of them except for the Falcons, which I think is very good since the Falcons were such a tanks, whereas the other ships tended to have a little bit too little health. Crate is also back in the Galactic Assault rotation after fixing some issues on that map, as well as a couple of other bug fixes for both Hero Showdown, Starfighter Assault, Arcade, Heroes vs Villains, and Evocant. But I think those are all the important changes, bugs, and additions of this patch. So like I said, this is arriving tomorrow morning already, which is probably around 9 or 10 hours from when this video has been uploaded. I will unfortunately not be able to stream as it goes live because tomorrow Sweden is playing in the World Cup, and well, I will be out with a couple of friends watching that game, of course, like the rest of Sweden. So expect a live stream later in the evening instead when I get back home, because obviously I want to show off the new Hero Starfighter game mode and especially try out the new lightsaber changes, because you guys know that I like to stick to the ground as much as possible. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.